Everyone is watching Bitcoin's price, but almost nobody is watching the level that actually matters. Today, I'll show you why 64,000 could decide whether Bitcoin rallies to 70K or starts another major decline. Let's jump into the charts, and right now the price of Bitcoin is currently at 65,327. We're gonna start off here with the monthly chart. This candle closes in the next 11 days and 4 hours. Right now, I gotta say that this is looking pretty bullish if we were to close like this. We were able to hold above the 50 moving average, which is at 59,948, and we're getting a nice green candle here. If this closes like this could end up being tweezer bottoms, and we could continue a move up from here. Now, another thing that's going for us is that we are far from the 21 moving average, which is basically almost at 90K. So even if we get rejected, I don't think that we'll continue to go down until this 21 moving average gets a little bit closer to price. So we would at least have to go sideways here, which could still give us a pump towards 70K, maybe a little bit higher before coming lower, if that will be the case. Now, we are still below the 50 on the RSI, but we are pointing up. The stochastics are low. I'm starting to see a little curvature, like if we want to roll over. Let's see how the rest of July ends up, but right now I'm feeling a little bit bullish for the month of July. On the weekly chart, we see that the stochastics RSI are pointing up. That's bullish. Another thing that's bullish is that we haven't really lost the 200 moving average. We briefly lost it about 4 weeks ago, and then we got a green engulfing candle. This gave us tweezer bottoms, and since then we've been floating sideways with green candles for the weekly chart right above the 200 moving average. So this is kind of like a little flag, and the measure move to this would at least make us go and test this 21 moving average at 69,681. Now, the good thing is that if we could get above the 21 moving average, look at this gap here in the VRVP. This means that we could fly up pretty good from this area all the way up to this next node here that's sticking out, and that's like at 84K. We should have some resistance here again at 75K, but as you can see, the big catalyst is going to be getting back above this 21 moving average. Now, if this is a double bottom pattern, one bottom, and we round out here and this is a second bottom here, this could be the bottoming pattern that we need to get out of the bear market. Now, the trigger would be this neckline where these tweezer tops were, and that's pretty much at $82,000. If we could make it here and then break above it, maybe we could float out of this bear market. But first and foremost, we need to get back above this 21 moving average and hold that before we could continue to get more bullish. We head over to the 3-day time frame. We see that the stochastics are getting a little toppy. We're getting held here by the 21 moving average. It's important that we get through there, and then we go and test this 50 moving average, which is currently pretty much at 70K as well. Now, on the daily time frame, I'm liking that the RSI is above the 50 and we're pointing up. Here we've been dragging a little bit toppy here with the stochastics RSI, but look, we got a curvature back up. So this looks like we might make another hump up before rolling over. And what's bullish here is that we are above the 21 and the 50 moving average, and it kind of looks like this 21 moving average is about to cross up on the 50 moving average. That is bullish. So the next logical thing would be to go and test this 80 moving average, which is at 68,789. And again, we could see the gap here in the VRVP. There's not much volume here, so we could probably possibly go up there. If we can make it to this 80 moving average, this 200 moving average is right there, and that's currently almost at 73K. Now, ultimately, I do have this in a bear flag that could take us down to 48,000, but I'm also seeing that this is turning into a inverted head and shoulder, where this is the left shoulder, this is the head, and we're kind of creating the right shoulder as long as we can stay above this 21 moving average. And the measured move to this could pretty much take us right to this 200 moving average. This is a confluence here that's showing that going to test 70K and possibly all the way to 73K is in the works at the moment, as long as we can stay above this 50 and this 21 moving average. The stochastics are pointing up, RSI is pointing up. It's not looking too bad right now short term for Bitcoin. We head over to the 12-hour time frame. We see that the stochastics are still pointing up. We're above all the major moving averages. I always tell you guys, once we're above all the major moving averages and then we just have one moving average to get up to, it's almost like it's a magnet towards there. Right now, this 200 moving average is at 70K. It looks like we could float to there. The last time I made a Bitcoin episode, I was telling you guys that on the 8-hour time frame, it looks like we might be heading to the 200 moving average. Obviously, when I said that, we were a little higher up, and since then we've just been dragging sideways, but the 200 moving average did come towards us. That's currently at 66,516. We're right there. Stochastics are pointing up. This looks like we could at least go and test this, and if we could get above this 200 moving average, then we could go and test this 12-hour chart, 200 200 moving average at 70K. On the 4-hour time frame, stochastics, we're on the way up. It's hard to say if we're about to roll over here or continue up, but what's important is that we're above all the major moving averages here. As long as we can stay above the 21 moving average at 64,524, I feel like we're primed for a move to about 68K to 70K. Where I would worry is if we lose this 200 moving average. Now, we lost it here briefly. We came and tested it here. As long as we don't dip below it with strength and go sideways and continue to go lower, I feel like the 200 moving average on the 4-hour time frame is our make or break at 64,712. If we lose 64K, I'm not going to like that. I feel like that's the line in the sand. If we lose 64K, we'll probably go and test 62K. If we lose 62K, we're probably going to go lower. 1-hour time frame, stochastics are starting to get toppy. The Scovies roll back up. Similarly here to the RSI, that's starting to point up again. And the 21 moving average is currently at 64,719. This is looking to me like maybe we could create some type of a falling wedge here and come back down to test the 21 moving average. If we could hold above this 21 moving average once we drop down, I feel like this could be our next measured move, and this could possibly take us all the way back up to about 66,177. Let's see if that one plays out in the short term. And on the 15-minute time frame, we see that the stochastics are low. We're pointing up. We're above the 50 on the RSI, and we've been able to stay above the 200 moving average. That's all I really care about right now on the 15-minute time frame, is to stay above 64,700. If we could do that, this is some type of a flag, but like I was telling you guys, a falling wedge that we saw on the 1-hour time frame, and I feel like we could go and test that 66K level. And if we could hold that, that's where 68K will come into play, 69.70, and even all the way up 73K. All right, guys, so that's the breakdown. If this gave you clarity or a setup to watch, do me a favor, like, drop a comment, subscribe, and if you have a stock or crypto you want me to go over, drop it in the comment section. This is Flex Candle, where we read the candles and flex the move. Catch you on the next chart.